The biggest name.
You're locked on to Scotty G and the coach, Tim LaComb, presented by Mountain Land Supply on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
I like the mix today.
A little rock.
We're going 70s, a little Judas Priest, and then we slip in a little Posty, and then go right back to it.
A little Black Sabbath, early Black Sabbath. First record will blow your mind. In fact, they're almost like Jackson Coyven. They walked into the studio, took on world number one, and said, "We got this.
We got this."
Like start to finish, every track, they nailed it.
That's not a bad debut. Not a bad way to kick things off.
A little dark for some.
Yeah, it ruffled some feathers early on, but
it was all in good fun.
But it was, yeah, that's the thing. Everybody just need to relax a little bit, have a good time. All right, Kurt Helin's going to join us coming up here in just a moment. I'll ask you the question. We talked about it a couple hours ago when we opened up the show. LeBron James going to Philadelphia. It's going to be a madhouse in Philly. Thoughts and prayers with our friend Tony Jones, who now just got thrown into a wood chipper of media coverage. So all that being said, does LeBron make Philadelphia a title contender?
Yes. I mean, and again, there's a big if there. It's got to be, Embiid's got to pull his weight. But I think the coupling of those guards and LeBron's know-how, and from everybody talking, his willingness to kind of just do what needs to be done, taking the salary, first of all, to do that, and then hopefully that will carry on. But I think if Embiid can actually do something, I think they and New York are the two best teams in the East.
That's the $1 million question. Can he do something?
Are you ready for my third, though?
Yeah.
It's not Cleveland. It's Atlanta.
Oh, yeah. Atlanta's quietly had a really good offseason, too.
I think Atlanta will be up there. I think you're going to start to see Cleveland dive. Because they tried like crazy to change that team this year, and they actually changed it for the worse. They got, Dean Wade actually helped them, and he's no longer there. Donovan's now got more money to just rest on his laurels about. And I just don't – I see them going down.
So, by the way, the one team that is going to have to do some things because I thought there's no way Denver is going to match that offer to Spencer Jones. But they did, and now that will, as of right now, their tax penalty – now this is just their penalty – will increase by $32 million, going from – now this is just a penalty – $36 million to $68 million. They are in the second apron for the first time under the current collective bargaining agreement. That is a tax bill. Now, granted, that bill doesn't come due until the end of the season. So they have the trade deadline to kind of find ways to shed that salary. They don't have to pay that immediately, but they are going to have to find a way. Like the Nuggets are going to be sellers at some point because there's no way they're staying in the second apron.
No, there's no reason to because they got no chance. I mean, the team as they're constructed right now isn't doing anything.
Yeah.
And I know Jokic is great, but the same problems exist. And so, yeah, to me, they're just throwing money in a lake. I get it if you're a contender, if you're a true contender and you want to take a year in that apron, try to figure it out, but Denver's nowhere close.
No, I mean, that's okay, you know what? What's a championship worth? Is it worth this? All right, let's go. But no, that's not. The Nuggets are not worth that.
No, I think the key is you got to have the pieces, right? But they don't. They just don't, and it's too bad because Jokic is playing great basketball. But you talked earlier about roster construction is so important, and if you let it go, their deal started the minute they won it was their undoing.
Yeah.
Brown leaves, KCP we talked about earlier leaves. So the minute you win one, and Oklahoma City's kind of dealing with that after winning one, and New York to a certain extent, guys start signing your guys.
All right, joining us now, Kurt Helin, NBC Sports, ProBasketballTalk.com. Kurt, we thought we'd let you off the hook for the remainder of the summer, then LeBron decides to do LeBron-like things, and now he's on his way to Philadelphia with the 76ers. As I mentioned earlier, thoughts and prayers with our very own Tony Jones, but all that being said, is Philadelphia a title contender?
Yeah, I would put them in that level only because somebody's going to come out of the East. And I think I would have the Knicks as the favorite. They've done it. I've seen them put it together like we know it works, and they really started to find something at the end of last season and in the playoffs. This team has to show it can click like that. Like, it's who's going to make the sacrifice in terms of touches? Is that going to be different people on different nights, or is it going to be, somebody going to take the Chris Bosh? All right, I'll just back off role. Like, they're going to have to figure that stuff out. But on paper, they're right there if Joel Embiid's knees cooperate. Like that, to me, that's the ultimate question, right? You've now kind of bet everything on Joel Embiid's knees being able to hold up for 4 playoff series.
And that's a big if, knowing Joel Embiid.
Yeah, that's the big one, because I think Maxey, Brown, LeBron was kind of happy in a more facilitator role last year for a while in March. Like, he can adapt to whatever they need. He certainly has the IQ and the understanding of what that team needs. And I think it's a good chemistry fit with the 3 of them. But the 3 of them and, all 4 of their starters, and then Adem Bona at the 5 is not a contender. It just is not. Like, they're going to have to go get a real 5. I think they're going to probably be in the market for a good backup 5 if one comes along, because they don't have one now, with all due respect to the couple guys on the roster. But they need, ultimately, with Embiid, yes. The Embiid we saw in the Boston series last year, yeah. But I don't know. That's a big risk. I mean, you get to live in New York, I guess, but whatever.
We're on the same page, Kurt, because I said the same thing. I mean, I think those 2 guards are explosive and exciting, and they're a great watch. And so you add Jaylen Brown to that, but you do need, like, Joel Embiid actually has to play. And we talked about the last 3 years. I think most games he's played in the last 3 years is 39. So that is the 7-foot, 270-pound question. Is it more so an attitude thing that needs to be adjusted? And if so, can LeBron maybe help in that area too with Embiid?
Maybe it might. I mean, it might be that, and it also might be that they have the advantage now with those 4 guys and with the depth on that roster, even in an East that, frankly, might be a little deeper than the West.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think their top end is as good, but that is now a deep conference of good teams. That said, Maxey, Brown, Edgecombe, and LeBron can win you a lot of games, and that lets them ease. Hey, if Joel plays 40 games this season, but he's ready to go when it matters, all good. Like, that's, at this point, that is all you're hoping for. Get him. He's not going for 65 and MVP again. Like, it's going to be get him enough games and get everybody working on the same page comfortable enough, which is going to be. Nick Nurse has some work to do. It's going to be interesting because Joel isn't like a set the pick and roll guy, right? He's not going to roll hard to the rim like it is. He wants the ball more at the nail or elbow, serve as a facilitator a little bit, some DHO stuff. It's going to be interesting to see how this all shakes out. And like, I don't know, if I had VJ Edgecombe on my fantasy team, I'd be mildly concerned about the number of touches he's going to get.
So, by the way, Kurt Helin, NBC Sports, ProBasketballTalk.com joins us. So, Miami, you go to Miami for the lifestyle. It's Miami. So that makes sense. You go to Cleveland for the nostalgic angle, going back home, that storyline. I know L.A. kind of pushed him out the door, but you stay in L.A. for the glamour and the business opportunities. Why Philly? Like, what is there any reason why he chose Philly? Like, the underlying, like, we know what LeBron said, but usually there's always something else to the story. Can you figure out anything else to the story? Why Philadelphia?
Not particularly. I mean, there were advantages. He is close to Tyrese Maxey, who's another clutch client. The New York thing legitimately has come up a few times, and people I've talked to where it's like, he can live part-time there. They practice in Camden, get to Philadelphia for games. That's not crazy. Like, it's doable part-time. But ultimately, I think it's winning because, like, at the end of the day, it had to be that because it wasn't like he went as far away from his family as he could.
Yeah.
Like, and I don't think that was something like, and I don't think he means that insultingly. It's just like he prioritized winning. I'm not sure what else it would be.
So looking at the East, and we just talked about it, Boston's got to be scratching their head going, what in the world did we just do?
Yeah.
I mean, Brad Stevens has been kind of the the wonder kid, for a long time. But this looks to be pretty monumental.
I get what he was thinking in the sense that, like, Denver is dealing with this right now. Like, they matched the offer for Spencer Jones at $6 million next year, and it doubled their tax bill.
Yeah.
Because, like, once you get to a certain point, it's a mess. They're now over the second apron, and then, like, Peyton Watson isn't even re-signed. Like, they're kind of a whole issue. And I get that Brad Stevens was trying to avoid that, but man, you won a championship with these two guys 2 years ago. Like, I don't, as good as Joe Mazzulla's system has been, as good as they have been able to find the Peyton Pritchards of the world who step up and make plays, and Derek White's very good and all that. In that East, that's just a much harder road for them now. I'd have them in a second, they're going to make the playoffs, but I'm not convinced they're a true contender. Like, they're going to win a lot of regular season games, but I don't know that I fear them in the playoffs the same way now, because you couldn't load up too much on Tatum because Jaylen Brown becomes your finals MVP. Well, now I can kind of load up on Tatum. Like, and nothing again, Derek White or whomever. Like, I don't know who the other guy is there that I'm genuinely scared of.
So you mentioned the Denver situation. Now, that bill's not going to come due until the end of next season, but as of right now, signing Spencer Jones to a guaranteed 2-year, $12 million contract increases their tax bill $36 million. So right now, there's $68 million in tax penalties. So are there a lot of teams circling Denver like, well, they're going to have to be selling at some point?
Exactly. Look, if they wanted to sign and trade Peyton Watson right now, they would actually have to do a salary dump to do that because they're over the second apron and can't take a player back. Like, it's sticky for them. We also all know the Kroenke family history in pretty much all of their sports. They're not going to be paying that second apron number at the end of the season. There will be some. I'll tell you that a lot of teams are watching them. Hey, can we get in on Peyton Watson? Because a lot of people understandably like him. But they are just loaded with massive salaries. And there are people around the league who wonder if Aaron Gordon becomes the guy out the door. Because as much a glue guy and as kind of critical to fitting it all together as he can be for them, and as well as he plays with Jokic, he's kind of had injury issues the last couple of years. And if you're not going to move on from Jamal Murray, then do you have to move on from how much you're paying Aaron Gordon? And I'll tell you that there's a lot of teams who could really use, even in a limited role. I mean, Aaron Gordon at the 4 would help a lot of contending teams. So there's a market for that. Teams are watching. Denver isn't there yet, but they're stuck. They're going to have to do something.
I've heard that Kenny Atkinson said that, analytically, this might be the worst center Cleveland's ever had. They were right there on the doorstep with LeBron, apparently. But to me, like, do you feel like Cleveland now, because they lost Dean Wade in this whole thing, is Cleveland headed down? And if so, who are a couple teams that are coming up?
First off, I think they're going to win a lot of regular season games in Cleveland. That's still Mitchell and Harden and Evan Mobley. The only hope they have now is Evan Mobley makes the leap forward on offense. Everybody keeps kind of hoping he makes, but he's never really done. Jared Allen's in the middle too. So, but I don't see them getting back to the conference finals. Like, I don't know. I don't know who that is. Teams on the rise. Toronto's interesting when the Kawhi Leonard trade goes through. That's now a whole lot of athletic. That was a 46-win team a year ago that adds some depth, gets a little older, and if they add Kawhi and he can play close to the level he did last season when he was an All-NBA player, that's a really interesting, dangerous team that I think people are overlooking. I think we kind of sometimes forget Indiana will be all the way back with Halliburton. But the other team I really like, I like Atlanta.
Yeah.
I like what they've done. I am a big fan of Johnson at the 4, but also just after watching Kingston Flemings at Summer League, and we know he can score. We saw it in Houston. But we're like, now he goes in there and he showed at Summer League, like, I can just be a point guard. I can be a floor general kind of point guard. If he can get the ball to the right guys, they're good. And mostly Dyson Daniels and Nickeil Alexander-Walker and now Lou Dort.
They're going to be a nightmare to play against, bro.
Yeah, that is a hard team to win. That's the kind of thing that gets you in playoff series and wins you some series. Like, they're just going to be hard to play against. Quinn Snyder's a really smart coach. Like, I really like the direction they're headed. I think they're going to be a very good team this year.
And, the thing that we're talking about here, as you mentioned, is the East. And I think, again, from top to bottom, I think you hit it on the head. The East is better than the West. Now, top heavy, certainly West, but
yes,
top to bottom, like the East is no joke. And whoever comes out of there is going to be battle tested for sure.
If you count Washington as a legitimate team, which, Trae Young, Anthony Davis, AJ DeBonsa, if you think they're at all postseason threat, that's 12 teams that legitimately think they should be in the playoffs next year. That's a little deeper than the West right now, even though I think the West is going to be interesting because I think Utah is going to be on the rise. I'm really curious what Portland looks like with the Ja Morant risk, roll of the dice, but I kind of get them for taking it. Like, I'm kind of okay with it. It's very much a Tom Durden owner, hey, let's buy a distressed asset, see if we can make it better kind of private equity mentality, but it might work.
Yeah.
I'm curious what they look like, but I think there's some. I think you're going to see some teams dip in the West. Golden State's what is Golden State now? There's a few teams that I just don't scare me at all. So,
hey, is Dun trying to pull a major league, run a team into the ground so he can move it?
It kind of looks like it, doesn't it?
It does.
It's very. In the Pacific Northwest, that's not the analogy they use. They use Clay Bennett.
Yeah. No, that's
that. But it kind of looks that way. It kind of feels that way a little bit. The challenge becomes, where does he move the? I think the league would push back, especially with the team going into Seattle. The league would. You're going to have to really convince the other owners. And where is he going to go? If Vegas and Seattle are off the market. I've heard people say he might try to move to Raleigh, North Carolina, and move them basically with the Hurricanes, but I'm not sure the league would. I'm not sure the league would go for that. So I think he wants to. I don't, or at least that's the playbook he seems to be trying to use. But this area, it's messy up there, and it's messy with their city council and them like, hey man, we're approving all this money. You're not going to pitch in anything. And he's kind of like, I don't know. I pay my taxes. What else do you want?
Yeah,
from me? Like I'm not sure that's going to get it done in that market. So it's going to be tough because he's not the guy who strikes me as like, hey, you know what I'm going to do is just build my own building.
Oh no.
Which he's not going the Steve Ballmer route of, hey, I'll just build my own building. Fine. Like, I don't think he can do that. So if he's not doing that, I'm not sure where he goes, but it's interesting because that's not the team that was at the top of the watch list for moving. That team might have been in Louisiana.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure what's going to happen there.
So, look, you know what? You boot the masseuse out at noon, fine, whatever. You don't take two-way players to playoff games. All right, whatever. You give your coach essentially a one-year contract. Okay. You mess with Kevin Calabro, now we got problems. And
exactly.
You don't mess with one of the greatest, if not the greatest, radio announcer in the history of the NBA. That's a bridge too far as I'm concerned. And and by the way, his subprime comment was really good. That was well done by him.
Yes, exactly. It was a very smooth little transition. We'll see what he does for the next year or so, but when I'm the Seattle ownership group, whoever I am, and I get control of that team,
first phone call
by the end of the year, that's like one of my first phone calls. It's like, hey, how would you feel about a job? Because he'd be great in the community in the 1.5, 2-year run up to launching actual games there anyway. So, he's going to land on his feet, but that's just another sign. I mean, they've cleaned house in the building and cleaned house in the building and not in the Lakers way, like where we're just going to retool this and rebuild in a different style. It's like, no, I'm just cleaning house. I am saving money, and
We were talking to an NBA exec about a month or so ago, and he mentioned the Lakers, and I think I mentioned this to you as well. But he said the Lakers are going to figure it out now that they've got some money, now that they've got an ownership group that is liquid. Because the buses, I mean, they were worth a ton, but didn't actually have the liquid capital to really, get crazy. And so, with that being said, you get a group like that can spend like they do with the Dodgers. The Lakers are going to, he said, the Lakers are going to be back fast. What are your expectations on this year's team with the Lakers?
I think there's a second tier in the West for me between like 2 and 6, 3 and 6, assuming we're going to assume OKC and San Antonio are 1-2, right? I think we'll grant that one. There's a whole kind of mid-range of teams, Houston, Denver, where we've just got questions. And I think the Lakers could finish third, and I wouldn't be shocked because like it kind of comes together for them in the regular season, and Luka plays 68, 70 games, and they're rolling, and Reeves stays healthy, and I think if it all comes together for them, this is a better stylistically built team around them. Even if I don't trust them in the playoffs, I think they'll win a lot of games. But they're still I would say I don't think they're ready to contend with Oklahoma. Like, I don't know that they could get past Oklahoma City. I mean, they got swept by them last year, but I don't think they can get past Oklahoma City and San Antonio. But on the flip side, for the next few years, I'm totally not sure how anybody does in the West. Like that's a gauntlet at the top of two really good teams. And even if one of them has a down year due to injuries or whatever, like, there's still the other one. So, I by the way, I can see why LeBron went east in the sense that like it's a deeper conference, but I don't have the giant Cyclops at the top blocking the entrance to the cave, man.
Nice reference. Did you like the movie?
Yeah, I did enjoy the movie.
Yeah.
As a weird historian, historian isn't the word, but mythology buff. I'm not sure that that's accurate history. By Homer there, but as a piece of storytelling, I actually thought it was a fun adaptation. I thought it was really, really well done.
Yeah, for all you kids out there, the book's better. If you know what just wait till your junior high English class, and you'll get a chance to read it. It's awesome.
You'll have no choice.
Yeah, they make you do it.
Odyssey's better than the Iliad too. So
I prefer Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?
That is a great adaptation of it. I don't think a lot of people knew it was, but it was kind of a fun. That's a really well done movie, by the way. The whole thing is
fantastic.
Put it on your list, Alex. Yeah. We got a 20-year-old in the booth. We tell him what he needs to watch.
Yeah. He's
that would be.
He's an old soul when it comes to music. Movies, not so much. We're working with him. Did you get Shawshank in? Did you finally watch Shawshank?
I did watch Shawshank, yeah.
Okay, good. All right.
Get busy living or get busy dying.
At least we got that one off the list. All right. Well, Kurt, we appreciate it.
How was he able to?
Oh, sorry.
How was he able to find that on cable? It's not like it replays it every day.
Let's see. It's on 17 things right now.
That's the thing.
Exactly.
When you're in hotel rooms as much as you are, and I do the hotel circuit too, like there's a few things you can always find at any given time. Shawshank Redemption and Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives. You will always have those on.
It's so funny you said that because I was just about to go to that exact place. I'm like, I'm not a big Beat Bobby Flay fan or whatever, but if Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives is on, I'll watch and hope that they pop up with whatever city I'm in.
Yeah, I will not allow any disrespect for Guy Fieri, man. Anybody wants to make fun of him, I will stick up for that guy. I love that dude.
I like the hairstyle.
I like anybody's hairstyle. So.
Yeah, you and me both. Kurt, you're the best, dude. Appreciate it. We'll talk soon.
Take care, guys.
There he is, Kurt Helin, NBC Sports, ProBasketballTalk.com. All right, 12:26. All right, so Alex does not know this, but we're doing a little producing on the fly. But coming up a little bit later on, we'll talk some Notre Dame football. And then coming up about 1:15, 1:20, Eric Kerr, the new head coach at Weber State, will be joining us as well. Big Sky Media Days wrapping up, but here's a guy making the jump from Corner Canyon High School to Weber State. And if there's one guy that can pull it off, it's this dude. We'll talk to him coming up in the 1 o'clock hour, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Make game day yours. Tickets, food and drinks, stats, and streaming. Everything you need is in the Utah Mammoth app. Download today and make game night easy. Download on both Android and iPhone. Tusk Top.
Jazz, the Mammoth, and the Utes, Cougars, and Aggies. When it comes to sports in Utah, we've got you covered. This is Scotty G and the coach, Tim LaComb, presented by Mountain Lens Supply on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Your playlist today presented by Tim LaComb. Great work as always.
Thank you.
I'm
glad Lloyd's not here to...
Any vibe we're feeling tomorrow? I haven't put mine together for tomorrow.
Whatever you're feeling, dude. Like, I woke up this morning, I thought, I need a little heavy to get me through a Monday.
Yeah.
And we went heavy.
This wouldn't have been high school for you. It was pre-high school for you.
It's like junior high almost.
Yeah.
Early 80s. Mr. Billy Squire.
All we need is a little Johnny, Ronnie James Dio, and we'll have the cycle.
That little short, he's like a hobbit out there. I'm crazy. I'm freaking crazy.
Man, what a weirdo.
My brother, stepbrother, went to the show, and he's a huge music guy, huge Dio guy, and he said Dio came out and just said some crazy stuff early on, and like he was out the door. He's like,
really?
This is what hell will be like, all of us together. And he's like, I don't think I'm going to be there, Ronnie. I think I'll leave now.
Wow.
Now, Ronnie was a little out there.
Yeah, no, he was a strange son of a gun. All right, so you heard from Kurt Helin about LeBron James, and yeah, look, first off, trying to get inside the mind of LeBron is not an easy thing to do anyway. But you add to the fact that he could have had a real nice, easy lifestyle, a warm lifestyle there in Miami. He could have said, I'm going back home. I want to finish where I started with Cleveland. Like, there's a lot of storylines with some of these places. There's no storylines in Philadelphia for him outside of trying to win. So I'll give him credit on that because there's horrible weather in Philadelphia, awful place to live. Then you throw in the fact that you have no real connection there. The only thing that Kurt Helin mentioned, and if you don't know your Eastern geography, it is still relatively close to New York. So he can probably live in New York and still have the best of both worlds a little bit, but still it's kind of a pain in the butt. So the dude maybe just actually does want to win.
I think that was why he chose this place. I mean, we talked about all the different things, if he's looking for a way to be away from family and in the sun and all those different things. So there was a lot of conjecture, but at the end of the day, I think his decision was made solely or heavily on his ability to win. And when Jaylen Brown went to Philly with those two guards, and they've got Embiid, who's, I don't know, man, he's so talented, but just, can't stay healthy, can't stay motivated, can't care enough, whatever it all is. But I think on the outset, looking at all those teams, you're certainly not going to do anything Miami with Bam and Giannis. That's just a misfit group. He's been to Cleveland, and I'm not sure if, Wilt Chamberlain could fix Cleveland right now. They got so many holes, and I know, Harden analytically is a great defender.
Oh, yeah, the best.
Their defense
pick and roll
is,
defender, yep.
And I don't necessarily buy into the fact that they're just going to go ahead and win again this year in the regular season. They may, but I do feel like there's some shine off the Cavs. They've been kind of that team that's pushing. And now to me, they're taking a backseat to a team like Atlanta. I feel like a team like Orlando, who has got a new coach now, maybe they unlock some things there because their defense has been so good. It just makes the East very interesting. But there's no doubt in my mind, LeBron picked Philly because he thinks he can win, go back to the finals. And if you're looking at the East right now, if Embiid is right or can be right, like Kurt said, for 40 games, and those games being big ones toward the end of the year, I think they're right on par, right there, just a notch below New York.
Yeah, I think you're right. And this is a guy that's enamored with his own personal legacy. He will always know that he's connected and tied to the hip with Michael. So if he can try to do something to add one more notch on that belt, then he's probably going to try to do that. But Michael's still number one. Make no mistake.
I love that Kurt brought up Atlanta, though. That you could tell I was fishing for that.
Oh, I know. I see. Yeah.
I had my reel.
Throw that reel out there. Let's go.
Because I saw something today that said that, they're considered maybe a play-in team. I'm like, you guys are nuts. You wait till they start guarding. And he mentioned those three guys, the Great Barrier Thief, Dyson Daniels, who's just a nuisance defensively.
Yeah.
Walker, with his length and presence, and then Lou Dort. Like, you put those three guys out there, you're going to lock down a lot of perimeters.
All right. You ready for the number of the day?
I am so excited for the number of the day. I thought the number of the day was 8 because that was the number Riley Jensen wore.
Yes.
Who joined this
love
morning.
Riley.
What is it?
78. Number of the day, 78. 78%. The American Athletic Conference held their football media day. How about this? 78% of America's first and second team all-conference players from last year have transferred to Power 4 schools this year.
That's the nature of the beast.
78%, nearly 80% of the first and second team members of the American Athletic Conference, first and second teams of their football squad, now on their way to Power 4 teams.
Wow. I mean, that puts it in
That's
great
a
perspective,
disgusting
right?
number.
And that's one conference.
Just one conference, yeah. I mean, if the Mountain West were to do the same thing, or, who else, the MAC, I'm sure the number's probably about the same.
The lay of the land now is these small schools, if they find a diamond in the rough and develop them, they get them for as long as they're noticed.
Yeah.
And then the bigger clubs sweep through with their money and off they go.
And the bigger programs are like, well, you know what? We're stealing your players, but you're also providing a home for our guys that we missed on. And to some extent, that works. Like, Braden Pagan, who's now at Utah, started out, I believe, at UCLA, couldn't get out on the field, goes to Utah State, puts up crazy numbers, and now is back into the Power 4. So, I guess you could say it works downhill and uphill, but I don't think it's quite the same.
78% is staggering. Like, that's incredible. And it just shows you, I had a conversation when this all started and, the unlimited transfers and transfer portal mania, and I got into a discussion on Twitter. I wish I could find it, but it was a guy saying, this isn't going to have no impact on high school kids. And I was like, dude, they're the ones that are going to be fighting for a spot. Now, not the AJ DeMonces and the Darren Petersons of the world.
They'll always be fine.
But you like Richie Saunders, you like, all these guys that, again, they're going to get discovered and the team's going to bring them in, they're going to coach them up, and then they're going to set them on a pedestal to go to the highest bidder. It's just the way this is set up now.
Yeah.
It sucks. It really does.
It does suck. I mean, there's really no other way to put it. It sucks. And you're right. The upper echelon are going to be just fine. But a lot of these kids, I think, you brought up a point, I believe you mentioned it, is like, I would tell these kids to go to Snow.
For sure.
Go to CSI. Go the junior college route. You get a hold on to your eligibility. You get out on the court, you get playing time, and then, you can transition 1 year putting up big numbers in that conference, and you can pull some money pretty quick. Like, there's a kid at Utah State, the Riser, I think is his last name.
Ace.
Went at CSI, blew up, had big numbers, and now is at Utah State. And if he blows up there, he'll probably go somewhere else after that.
Absolutely. And that's just the way it's going to work. And so you're right. It is not great. And one of the things that the new bill that's being put forth in Congress, that's basically both parties are involved in. One of the great things about that is 5 for 5 and 1 transfer. 5 for 5 and 1 transfer. And I think a lot of these things would start to resolve themselves and we kind of get back to business as usual. We've been dealing with guys wanting 7-8 years of eligibility on the back end of COVID. I mean, it's been wild. And so any kind of way we can kind of wrestle this back. But for the time being, you get a great player at Utah State that nobody knows about, like Ace this year. Ace Riser comes in.
You love that kid, by the way.
I love him. But I'm using his example. Say he goes for 20 and 6, and Power 5 start knocking on the door, and you start fighting the same fight you fought with Mason and in some ways Templin, who were pursued. And it's just the way this thing's going to work.
Yeah, it sucks. Like, I remember going to a football game. It was almost 10 years ago, 9 years ago, I think. First year I did play-by-play for Utah State. Aggies were playing Wake Forest back east. And it was early in the football season, like game 1 or game 2. And Tim Duryea was on the trip. Just, I think he was going to work in a little recruiting and stuff. He was the head coach at Utah State. And he and I were chatting on the charter going over, and he mentioned, watch out, in the next 2 or 3 years, you're going to see the NCAA allow one free transfer. And I'm like, you've got, no, it's not going to happen. That's nuts. One free transfer for a kid? You're not going to see that. And he's like, yeah, it's going to happen. Well, 9 years later.
Seen that a few times.
I wish we were back to the one free transfer era. It's just unbelievable where we're at right now.
The whole thing.
And how fast it hit.
Right. Like, I left in 2019, and I swear to you at that time, I could not buy a guy a burger without a form.
Yeah.
Okay? And now we're paying, these guys millions of dollars. So, yeah, it has changed fast, and it just shows you the importance of guardrails. They have to be there in some case, and the NCAA has screwed up for so long by just making the rule book big and thick and stupid. I think there just needs to be, a handful of rules, and let's let this thing go. I go back to, we're playing New Mexico in an exhibition game. They let us do exhibitions because there was a tornado in Texas or something, and we were able to go down there and play a game to raise money for it.
Yeah.
You remember when they did those charity things. We're down there, Mark Workentine, who was at one point the GM of the Blazers, the dumb-dumbless Blazers back in the day when they had teeth, but also worked alongside Tark all those years at UNLV. And we're sitting in the lobby, I'll never forget it, and he said, there is a guster blowing that they're just basically going to strip all the rules and say, go get your team, and I'll go get my team by hook or by crook, and we're going to play this thing out. And I looked at him like he had 17 heads. I'm like, dude, I can't buy my guy anything out of a vending machine right now. And you're telling me this is where it's going? There was no way in the world I could have believed it, and here we are. We are right smack dab in the middle of it.
And no end in sight.
No end in sight.
By the way, there is conversation. Betsy Cantwell and Ted Cruz, the bipartisan group that's trying to put this bill together, looked like it was dead, at least for getting passed by August. Apparently, there are continuing negotiations between those two congressmen and members of the Power Four and Notre Dame to try to find some level of resolution that they'll sign off on so that they can get their people to sign off on, and then we can maybe get this thing passed by August. I don't know what that's going to look like. I guarantee they're going to have to concede a bunch to get those guys on board. I would, like I've always said about anything in regards to Congress, I'll believe it when I see it. So, but, Ted Cruz, to his credit, has really gone all in on this and is willing to fight tooth and nail to try to get it passed.
I feel like something in the interim will be great, but I do believe 5 years from now, I believe we're looking at one of those big super, right?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what the number is, but Kyle Whittingham,
He's been saying it forever.
Right? And I do believe that's what we're headed toward. Just like Mark Workentine was talking about this era, Kyle Whittingham was, in a group that I was a part of, talked about the fact that this is headed toward, 50, 48. Well, you pick the number, but whatever it is, those teams that get in are in, and everybody else, you figure it out.
Yeah.
And I do believe that's where we're headed. And so in the interim, at least let's clean it up some, so we don't have all of this, other stuff.
All right, 1245, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Accessing.
The best radio in Utah is right here. This is Scotty G and the coach, Tim LaComb, on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
I don't know. This might need to breathe a little bit.
Good stuff.
You're nailing it today. Hey, KSL Sports Zone and Beehive Mills honoring people that impact youth sports in our communities. Nominate the youth sports volunteer for the Beehive Mills Hero of the Week at KSLSports.com/contests. All right, short segment here. Coming up at the top of the hour, we'll talk a little Notre Dame football as we start to preview some of the opponents coming up for Utah, BYU, and Utah State. If you missed any of our previous conversations, we've talked Arkansas, we've talked Washington, we've talked Iowa State. We've been all over the place. If you want to get all of that info, it's available for you at KSLSports.com or just search our podcasting feed. Just search Scotty and the Coach wherever you get your podcasts, whether it's be Netflix or not Netflix. Maybe we got a big announcement. We're on Netflix. That'd be great. I
think we would own Netflix if they gave us a crack.
Come on, Netflix. Let's go. You wouldn't cost you nearly as much as some of the other guys. We're pretty cheap.
I'd do it for a can of beans.
See? There you go. Right up that contract. But Bush's.
Hormel. Oh, Bush. Okay, we'll go with Bush.
Roll that beautiful bean footage. All right, so, but yeah, whether it's Spotify, whether it's Apple, whatever your podcasting platform is, you got it going on. And if you want to see us up close and in person in video form, that's also at KSLSports.com or search KSL Sports on YouTube. There you go. Multiple ways in which you can get our great content every day.
Notre Dame picked to be around 5th in the preseason polls. People are saying definitely a team that's got enough punch if things went right to win a title. And I love the fact that they're coming to Provo. It's going to be awesome. So I'm excited to get more intel on this Irish club and their shiny golden helmets.
Mike Barandino will join us coming up next. He is a beat writer for USA Today. In regards to Notre Dame. Also coming up at about 1:15, we'll have Eric Kerr, new head coach at Weber State, and I am really fired up to chat with him because, look, there are certain guys that you can't help but not root for. Morgan Scalley's always been that guy. Eric Kerr is going to be one of those guys. Like, that is a dude that's going to recruit the way that it should be, that Weber State should be recruiting, and that is go all in on the state of Utah. All in on these guys.
He's done an unbelievable job building a powerhouse over the last number of years at Corner Canyon. And I, over a couple of years span, was working with the staffing agency, and we did some advertising with the high school sports. And so found myself at many a game the last couple of years on Friday nights. And, his schemes, the way he approaches it, he's run it like a college program. And you could see that with the way that he did things. So I'm excited to see him take that step up. And I love that it's here at Weber. That's got a really nice tradition. We had a former head coach in studio last week, and Ron McBride.
Yeah.
So great things and a ton of history up there. So I'm excited to see what he can do taking that big step.
He can win, and he can win at a high level using Utah kids.
No question. And he knows where to get them, who they are.
Yep.
Like he will have – he's going to be way ahead of the curve. I know they went out and hired, was it Mental was their coach last time?
Yeah.
I do believe like this guy, because Weber's, that's a unique place. You need to go get the Rashid Shaheed type guys that are out there that are falling through the cracks, and you'll get them for a year now. You won't get to keep them very long. But you need to know where the pools of really solid football development, where those programs exist. And, Kerr has definitely got his fingerprints all over the state of Utah.
We'll talk to him coming up in about 20 minutes from right now. Mike Barandino will join us coming up next as well. It's all right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
I think the engine's stalling out on me.
Yeah, that don't sound right.
Dang, got a lot more miles to go.
Nah, be okay, mate. You ride with Geico Motorcycle Insurance and got their 24/7 emergency roadside service. They'll be here with a tow in no time.
Good, because these boots weren't made for walking.
Those riding boots are pretty sweet.
Oh, you like?
Do you think they come in a size 1 inch?
I don't know.
It feels good to ride with help. It feels good to Geico. Emergency roadside service is optional coverage.